Welcome back, everybody. This is now on TTT. We are going to talk about the PNM Internal Election and the post of youth officer. Well, the internal elections for the People's National Movement will be held on September 30th, 2018. The Prime Minister, he is fielding a slate of candidates, and there are some independents for certain positions within the party. We want to talk about the position of youth officer, and with me is Mr. Ndale Young, who is on the Prime Minister's slate, the political leader, Dr. Keith Rowley, and we have an independent, Helen Maureen. And we are not going to be arguing with each other, but we are going to create a discussion that will educate people and let them know why you gentlemen should be the youth officer of the PNM. And as the independent, Mr. Maureen, I want to start with you. Why should people vote for you?
Good morning, and let me say morning to my brother. This is my good friend from within the PNM. People should vote for me because of my legacy in youth service and development, because I currently continue to work with youth in my dispensation, and I understand the needs of the young people in the party, and I believe that I can ensure that we help them achieve the goals of the constitution of our party, which is to meet the 13 aims of the party, to ensure that we as a party become stronger, so that our government could become stronger.
Mr. Young.
I think people should vote for me primarily because over my experience, not only in this country, but in Africa, Jamaica, different parts of the world, what I have found is that youth and development of the youth is a balance between youth and experience. It's not just about hearing the youth perspective, but also guiding them in a particular direction, a type of way. So I think on the team that I belong to, which is the Red and Rowley team, there's a balance of that youth and experience. Even if you look at the education officer that Dr. Rowley has fielded, he's 88 years old. He was there when we had our independence. So I think not only bringing that experience of the entire team, but even myself in an individual manner. I've worked in Ghana with youths and that type of thing, and bringing different things to fruition. For example, there's a place called Konongo. We brought water for the first time, pipe-borne water in that area. And there are also other goals that we want to bring the youth of Trinidad up to the world youth standard. So in line with international standards. And
I see Helen listening very attentively to what you have to say, and I think this is going to be a fierce battle.
I wouldn't say fierce. I wouldn't say fierce. We are good colleagues. In fact, it's so interesting that he spoke about that project with the water, because if we have a joke between us, he calls me the Minister of Water. But that's our internal joke. You know, and just like Ndale, I offer a background stemming from my time at Queen's Royal College, where I was a student council leader. I was also a venture scout leader, working with young men and women in the scout troop. And I then moved on into the University of the West Indies, where I served as a sports representative, and then as a guild president for 3 years, representing over 25,000 young people over that span of time. And now for the past 5 years, I've been a local government council with the Port Spring Corporation, appointed deputy mayor in 2016. And I've gotten a chance to work with a lot of young people in my district, and also working with my, I have 2 MPs. I straddle 2 different MPs because of my polling divisions. I've gotten a chance to work with young people in Port Spain North, St. Anne's West, as well as Laventer West. And I've offered myself, because I think this is the right time, to use that skill set and develop the party even further.
And you're going up as an independent, he's going up as an independent, so you have the backing of an entire slate. He doesn't.
Well, more importantly than the slate, when he speaks his experience, I lean towards the experience of the Prime Minister. So I think that Helen is on the team, you know. Helen is the deputy mayor of Port of Spain. It's just that the Prime Minister has asked me to serve in this capacity at this time. So I think the experience he brings, being part of the party since 1974, and the longest serving parliamentarian, if he so sees it fit, then, you know, who am I to say no?
And I see you have a hashtag there, Young for Youth.
Young for the Youth.
What you have a hashtag too?
Yes, do more with Maureen.
Do something.
Do more for the youth.
Do more for the youth. So you see, but how do you plan to do more?
Well, the role of the youth officer really and truly is to facilitate the development of the young people in the party. We have the various youth leagues, so there are 41 constituencies, and there's supposed to be 41 active youth leagues. We don't currently have all of them active, but we've come a long way, testament to the current youth officer, Mr. Chino Allen, and the goal now is to continue to develop those youth leagues, help those that have no active youth league to come to life, and those that are struggling a bit, just to give them some support and assistance. And the young people is really just a feed of their ideas. I'm not here to do their job for them as members of the Youth League. They have ideas, they have a lot of caliber and vigor in them. And it's just to support them in their fundraising initiatives, support them with their development initiatives, support them in their professional linkages, just supporting them to ensure that they achieve their goals as youth leagues.
What do you think about his plans, and what do you have planned?
I'll start with my plans.
Yeah.
the thing about it is we have to look at the youth at a wider perspective, not only the Youth League, but even within the party structure, there's a youth officer belonging to every constituency. And more so, in every party group, there's a youth officer. So oftentimes the youth officer focuses on the Youth League, which has a chairman of its own, and which obviously comes under the guides of the youth officer. But the youth officer also supposed to develop. So my aim is to develop that youth officer committee in addition to guiding the Youth League and creating for the Youth League for the first time a voice that they have not had before in terms of advocacy for different things. For example, I have said that on my tenure, I intend to bring back a home for the Youth League in Bally's House. That is something that has been missing for a couple of years. Usually, the chairman of the youth officer would have a home at the top of Bally's House, and in the new building, we're going to advocate to have that. Added to which, the opportunities for youth is something that we have said that in the PNM, Dr. Williams, who designed the party, saw it necessary to pluck out the Women's League, or the women of the party. So automatically you're a member by being a woman, and the youth. So clearly to him, it was important to have the nurturers and to have the future together. So I think it is time that the youth come to the table and have their place in the different, whatever it is, in the steering of the country, even right now, not only in the future, but right now.
Right. And Hilan, you talk about the youth, and this is a PNM internal election, but inevitably, despite it being a PNM election, people of Trinidad and Tobago will be represented.
Correct.
So what do you think you can do, or what do you think needs to be done right now? I heard Ndali talk about the voice of the youth. What do you think can happen or should happen for the voice of the youth to come out?
All right. Well, I want to say commendations to my political leader. Over the past couple of years, you've seen a trend of young people getting an opportunity to come into leadership positions in the party. I can speak to myself as deputy mayor right now, 33 years of age. Other members of council in Port of Spain and other corporations, boards, various boards, qualified young people. And one of the things I would like to ensure we do is there's a vast majority of young people who may not be assigned to a party group or a youth league. And we want to work on reaching out to them and developing them. You know, so far in some of the interactions, we've been speaking to some of the constituencies, and, you know, people feel a bit ostracized. I want to reach out there and pull them back into the fold fully. Let them know that no matter where you're from, Kumoto, Manzanilla, Tabaquite, wherever you're from, Tobago, Port of Spain, Laventil, that there's a place for you in the PNM, especially because you're a member. And we're going to go on an active recruitment drive to pull more of them in. And the good thing about the party, because it attracts so much young people, so much young professionals, we can work on those different skill sets of those young professionals to help develop the others and create those linkages, just as my colleague spoke about, that will help them with their professional development. You know, there are a lot of persons who speak to not having that role model or that guidance. And we have it right within the party. Look, you're seeing two of us right here right now. You know, so the goal is really to ensure that we pull our youth along with us in the development model of the party as we move forward. And the youth have a place. They keep saying we are the future. We are the now.
Exactly, and the show is called Now, and that is why we have you here, because this is now, it is time for now. So, but there is a lot of work that has to be done for the youth, Ndali. What is your long-term plan? If you get this opportunity, what is your long-term plan for youth development? Not just for the PNM,
right,
but for Trinidad and Tobago.
So, as we speak, I have made contact with JCI, Port of Spain, with also the youth ambassadors and different youth organizations in putting together a youth policy moving forward. So we've started the development of a youth policy. And one of the things that I gave the commitment for and started looking for finance for is to be able to set up a youth common, like the House of Commons in England, a youth common where we can have, whether it be a physical presence of the youth, or sometimes we may have to do webinars and so on and so forth, but to get a perspective on a number of different things that are coming out. For example, you would have heard Dr. Rowley said, Indigo Martin, that he would be looking in 2019 at how we look at marijuana offenses. What is the youth perspective on that? To have that, we'll have to go in many different quarters to find out this youth, PNM youth. But if we had a youth common, it could be that we ask people to come in and speak, and we bring down speakers from, from different places that would have had these laws enacted to guide us moving forward. Because inevitably, the laws that are created today must be upheld by those that are to come. So the only reason that we stand so strong is because we stand on the backs of the legacy that Dr. Williams and Patrick Manning and Mr. Chambers would have done before. So even the people who are in Parliament now were youths at some point in time and had to buy in.
Exactly.
So to get that youth buy-in, we aim to do a youth common and also to embrace the entire youth organization in the country.
You hear that, Hilan? What do you think?
No, I think that's a good idea. You see, and that's the thing about young people, they bring vigor to the thing. They bring ideas that excite the situation, and I think that's what we want to do. I want to see that at the end of this entire exercise, there are more young people like me sitting in my position. I want to be able to move on at some point and know that I was able to inspire and help develop young people to become professionals, young people to become the Deputy Mayor of Port of Spain, young people to become a temporary senator, young people to become entrepreneurs and businessmen, young people to become persons that you could look up to in society. And I know that could be done by offering to serve at this time, because there's the will, there's the drive, and working together we'll achieve it.
Yeah. And one thing I really admired yesterday is when I spoke with both of you to come on at the same time, you were willing to come on and chat like this and not just have the one-on-one interviews. And that is good, because here you can see two people standing up and having a civilized conversation about their plans, and Trinidad and Tobago needs more of that. So it bodes well for the politics.
I think so.
And
for the party.
Yeah. And one thing that was said is that there is no rift within the party, despite both of you being opponents in this internal election. There is no rift in that way.
So there is no rift, but there is some small wager. So we do have a small wager where whoever should win, because this is not only my friend. We work out together. We exercise in Barataria. We do aerobics and that kind of thing to try to get ourselves healthy. And we said that whosoever should lose would have to be the servant of the victory party in the other places. So look out to see Mr. Marine in Barataria serving drinks, and I will invite you.
Oh, sure.
See Mr. Marine serving drinks in Barataria.
Mr. Marine, is that the case?
Well, it's a wager. It's a wager, and I'm sure the young people listening will ensure that they don't see me serving him. But, we'll be serving each other, because at the end of the day, it's all about that togetherness. And it's really important, as you said, that we engage in this way. There is no rift. Dr. Rowley recently spoke at our General Council, and he praised everybody who came forward. And that's something, you have to cherish in the party, that those democratic principles. And I think it bodes well, especially for the young people looking on, that they know that they could offer themselves without without any fear of any contradiction, without the fear of any victimization, that they know that they can offer themselves to serve. And I think it helps them to dream a bit more.
Even on an independent...
Even on an independent level, yeah.
All right, 30 seconds, closing comments and out.
Basically, thanks for the opportunity to be here on TTT. And I think we are part of a transitional leadership team. In that transition, Dr. Rowley has transformed the party to one man, one vote, transformed many different things within the party structure. This is just another leg in terms of the area of youth officer, where we're about to do some transformations, whether it be a constitutional reform around the youth and all of that. So we're asking for the support. I am asking for the support, and Team Red and Rowley, to be able to move us to the next stage.
And Hilan?
I will close by just reminding the listeners of my legacy and my track record as a young person in youth development. It reflects that you will elect somebody who knows what they're doing, somebody who's willing to listen and work with the young people, somebody who's willing to reach out to them and go as far as they need to go. And I'll just close off with some of my catch lines. Do more for you. Do more for youth. Do more with Marion. vote Marian for youth officer.
That's a long.
On September 30th.
That's a long.
I don't have the young for you.
Vote young for you.
I don't have the young for you.
It's too painful. There's a lot to it. It's funny. Just vote young for you. It's easy. Young for you. You see young, youth, that's what you need.
Thank you very much, Ndale Young, Hilal Marine, for coming in and chatting with us. And all the best to both of you. And, you know, you might be serving drinks, you might be serving drinks, whichever it is. If I come, I hope somebody serves me. Thank you very much.
Most definitely.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. We take a break and come back with more.